So, hi all, and I'm Ramya. I'm a communicative English trainer. So, today's topic is all about verbs. We are going to discuss about what is verb, and we all know that verb is something in action and a helping verb. So, what is more about? Let us learn more about verbs. What is verb and what exactly it is? Okay, so a verb is a word that shows some action or a state or a being. So verb is a word, it's a one word which shows some action. Action means we all know that it's a physical action, physical activities of a person or an animal or a thing or a state of being. What is a state of being? Is that an action? No, it's not an action. State of being is a situation, it's a state of situation. So I'll explain you that when it comes with an example. So the what is verb? A verb is a word that shows an action or a state of being, which means state of situation. So that is called verb. Actually, there are four cases of verb. One is action verb and state verb, auxiliary verb and main verb, transitive verb and intransitive verb, and the regular verb and the irregular verbs. So what is action verb and state verb? So let us discuss the first case, which is action verb and the state verb. So coming to action verb, the word that describes some actions are called action verb. As I said that action verbs are something which describes or which expresses some action. For example, skipping. Skipping is some action. It's a physical activity of a person. So that's why it is called as action verb. It performs an action. For example, eating. Eating is something that action that we do, and playing. All these are some actions. All these are the physical activities of a person. So it is called as action verb. So they are also called as dynamic verb. The thing is that the other name of action verbs are dynamic verb. So the other name of action verbs are dynamic verbs. So moving on to the next thing, which is that as of I told action verb and state verb. Moving to the state verb. And I told that state verb is not an action. The verb does not show any action, but expresses thoughts, feelings, or senses are called stative verb or state verb. So it is also called as state verb or stative verb. The thing is that state verb does not perform any action, but it expresses a thought, someone's thought. For example, if you see thinking, so thinking is a some thoughtful process. So that's not an action, that is something we are thinking inside our brain. Got it? So it's a verb, it's a state of verb. It does not perform any action. And the feeling or senses, we all know what are the five physical senses: seeing, smelling, hearing, tasting, feeling. All these are the five physical senses. For example, seeing, hearing, smelling, feeling, all these are state of verb, which does not perform any action, but it expresses a situation. And feelings, for example, uh, loves ice cream. She loves ice cream. Here, love is a feeling. She has a feel on ice cream that she loves. If she ate ice cream, hate is also a feeling. And the senses like that I told you, that the other five physical senses, which is like smelling, seeing, hearing, feeling, or tasting, all these are called state to verb. They do not perform any action, but they express some thought or feeling or senses or one situation, that is called state verb. They are also called as stative verb. So this is all about the first case as we discussed. Now the next is auxiliary verb and the main verb. So what is auxiliary verb and the main verb? So auxiliary verb means nothing but it's a helping verb. Auxiliary verb is also called as helping verb. The role, what is the role of auxiliary verb? It helps what? As I told that auxiliary verb is a helping verb. It helps what? It helps the main verb, like as I told that action verb or state verb, to make a complete sentence formation by expressing the main verb's sentence or mood. For example, she is playing. She is a subject. Play is a verb, main verb, action verb. She is playing. Here is a auxiliary verb which expresses a tense. For example, she is playing now. If my sentence is she was playing, that was is an auxiliary verb. It means she was playing yesterday or somewhere time. She was playing in the past. So it expresses a tense, it expresses a mood, or it expresses in what voice it has been told. So that is called auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is nothing but it's a helping verb. It helps a main verb to predict when the verb happened or happens, or it's gonna happen. So it are of two types. One is primary verb and the other is modal auxiliary verb. So let us discuss the primary auxiliary verb. These verbs modify other verbs. They appear in the form of be, do, and have. So let me explain with the example. She is playing tennis, as if I told now. She is playing tennis. So is a auxiliary verb which helps them. For example, she playing tennis. There is no complete form, sentence formation. So this is an auxiliary verb which helps the main verb to make a complete sentence formation. And moreover, it is also used to say that in which tense, in which the action, at what time the action has happened. If you see to the next example, she was playing. Here was is also auxiliary verb which shows that when the action actually happened. We have a car. So it's a have form verb. I told that the primary auxiliary verb always appear in the form of be, do, and do have. We have a car. Here there is no any action verb or the state verb. We have a car. Here have is a auxiliary verb. It means it tells that we have something. It tells something the state of a state of us, that it means we have a car. We have completed our homework. Here it also means the same, that we have completed something. We have completed our homework. So these are the verb which helps the main verb to make a complete sentence formation, and it also predicts something. It also says something when the action happened. She did not do well. Here did. So did is used to predict something in a negative manner, negative statement. She did not. If did not is used to say something in a negative statement. Did she do well in the asking? So did is also used to create questions. Did she do well? Did she write well? So all these are the verbs that we call it as primary auxiliary verb, whose roles is to help the main verb. So moving on to the modal auxiliary verb, it expresses one's ability. It gives some suggestions. It is used for future prediction. It asks for request. For example, let me explain one by one. Before that, let me tell you what are modal auxiliary verbs. Modal auxiliary verbs are can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, and must. See, if you see this first point, it expresses one's ability. For example, Shankar can play the guitar. Here, can is a modal auxiliary verb which is used to express the ability of Shankar that he can play guitar. Here we are talking about the Shankar's ability, whether he can play guitar or not. Shankar can play guitar. Here we are expressing that his ability that he can play guitar. And second is for some suggestion. Your cell phone might be in the kitchen. If some person is searching for a cell phone and we are giving some suggestion, it might you were in the kitchen, so it might be in the kitchen. We are giving some suggestion. So here might is a modal auxiliary verb that is used for a suggestion. And he may travel. Next is it is used for future prediction. So future, we do not know what happened and what happens in future, but we can predict something that this or it will happen or not. So we are using may. He may travel to London next year. He may go to China next year. So something we are predicting, so that it is also used. A modal auxiliary verb is also used for predicting something in future. So may or might is also used to predict something. Next is to ask for a request. To request something, we can use this modal auxiliary verb, like, will you close the door? So as I told, will is a modal auxiliary verb. Can you please lend me a pen? Will you please close the door? All these are the verb which we call it as modal auxiliary verb, which we use for one's ability to express one's ability, to give some suggestions, or to predict something in future, or to ask for a request. So the next third case is nothing but the transitive verb and the intransitive verb. So what is this transitive and the intransitive verb? It's very simple. The verb which carries a direct object are called transitive verb, which means the sentence always carries a direct object. That is called transitive verb. For example, let me explain you. Shankar kicked the ball. Shankar kicked the ball. So Shankar is a subject. Kicked is a verb. Kicked is an action. It's a physical activity, something we are kicking. And what? The ball. Ball is an object. Shankar kicked what? Remember that transitive verb always questions what? What he kicked. He kicked the ball. So here the verb always carries an object. Here the verb carries an object called ball. So this verb depends upon the object. That's why we call it as transitive verb. The thing is that the transitive verb always carries an object. Moving on to the next example, he made a cake. He made what? He made a cake. He is a subject, made as a verb, and he made what? Here also, if you notice, it questions what. He made a cake. The next is she left the keys. What she left? She left the keys. So all these are the examples for transitive verb. So what? Moving on to the intransitive verb, as I told that transitive verb always carries an object. When it comes to intransitive, it does not carry any object. For example, we are reading. We subject are reading is a verb. Even though there is no any object in the sentence, you can see that the sentence is completed. We are reading, which means we are reading. There is no any object. The sentence does not depend upon any object. So that's why we call it as intransitive verb. Looking to the second example, the old man laughed loudly. The old man is a subject. Laughed is something, a verb, a physical action. Loudly is not an object because it describes a verb. That's why that loudly is an adverb. The old man laughed how? If you see, adverb always questions how. The old man laughed how? He laughed loudly. It describes the verb. Adverb is something that describes a verb. Here, that loudly is describing the verb. There is no any object. There is only an adverb. That's why it is called as intransitive verb. She is singing. As if I told for the first example, there is no any object in the sentence, even though the sentence got completed. She subject is singing is a verb. Even though there is no any object in the sentence, there is a complete sentence formation. So this is what intransitive verb. Moving on to the last case, which is a regular verb and the irregular verb. Is so what is regular verb? It's very easy. It's we all know the present, past, and the past participle form of verb. Play, played, played. The verb which ends with ed, which means which have the same conjugation pattern, that is called regular verb. For example, you can see played, played, worked, worked, cooked, cooked. All these ends with ed and have the same conjugation pattern. So these are called regular verb. When it comes to irregular verb, does not end with ed. It has a different conjugation pattern. For example, the past tense of eat is ate and the past participle form is eaten. There is no same conjugation pattern. It does not end with ed. So that's why we call it as irregular verb. So this is all about verb. Thank you.